A woman is standing in the hills above a city. The Mediterranean is behind her. The Sahara is ahead. She reaches down and cuts a stalk from a plant growing between the rocks. She is not guessing. Her mother did this, her grandmother before that. The plant has a name. The wealthiest civilization on Earth stamped it onto every coin they ever minted. Not a king, not a god, a plant. They traded it like gold, built an entire city-state around it, and when it finally ran out, one man ate the last known specimen on Earth. No one ever saw it again. Stay with this. Because if historians are right, women were manipulating reproductive hormones nearly 2,000 years before modern medicine even knew hormones existed. Here is the assumption most people carry, that reproductive control is modern, that it starts in the 20th century, in laboratories, with clinical trials, that the women who came before you were passive, that they gave birth and hoped. That assumption is wrong. The evidence is older than Rome's Cyrene, 631 BC, a Greek colony on the North African coast, wedged between the Mediterranean and the Sahara, one of the wealthiest cities in the ancient world, not because of gold, not because of location, because of a single plant that grew only in the hills surrounding it. Its name was Silphium. John Riddle, historian of pharmacy at NC State University, spent decades reconstructing what ancient sources already documented. Ancient medical writers described Silphium as both a contraceptive and an abortifacient, taken monthly as a drink to prevent pregnancy, taken after intercourse to end one in its earliest stages. Riddle argued this wasn't superstition. He argued it worked. Pharmacologist Norman Farnsworth at the University of Illinois documented why that argument holds. Silphium's closest relatives contain compounds that disrupt progesterone synthesis, the hormone that sustains a pregnancy in its earliest stages. Disrupt it correctly, and implantation fails. Not folk magic, a functioning hormone inhibitor. Discovered, standardized, and traded 2,000 years before the first birth control pill. But here's the deeper question. Not what they knew, how they knew to look. And the answer reveals something about you that science is only beginning to name. Finding a useful plant by accident is one thing. The surprising part is that humans were deliberately searching for a way to control what came next. Thomas Suddendorf at the University of Queensland studies what he calls episodic future thinking, the uniquely human ability to simulate a future that doesn't exist yet and treat it as real. No other species does this. A crow responds to hunger. A dog responds to threat. You can imagine a consequence that hasn't happened and move to prevent it. That ability built a city around one plant. It built the birth control pill, and it was already running in the woman in the hills above Cyrene 2,000 years ago. The technology changed. The thinking never did. In 49 BC, Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon and marched on Rome. One of his first acts was to break open the doors of the Temple of Saturn, the state treasury. He didn't just take gold and silver. According to Pliny the Elder, he also seized Rome's entire reserve of Silphium, 1,500 pounds. He sold it, used the revenue to pay his soldiers. By the 1st century AD, the plant was almost gone. Pliny wrote it hadn't been seen in living memory. When one final specimen was found in the wild, it was sent to Emperor Nero. Nero ate it. One man consumed the last known example of a plant half the ancient world had depended on. Stay with this, because what replaced it grows wild across most of the world. You have almost certainly walked past it. Daucus carota, wild carrot, small white flower clusters, seeds that darken at maturity, field edges, road verges, anywhere left untended. Researchers found the same mechanism, seeds disrupting progesterone activity after fertilization. The same biological pathway as Silphium. In a plant that grows across most of the northern hemisphere, Peter Ellison at Harvard, whose work in reproductive ecology maps how human biology responds to culture and environment, has argued that what separates human reproduction is not the biology. It's the intelligence layered on top of it. Silphium was one version of that drive. Wild carrot was another. The birth control pill is the latest. The heart shape, playing cards, Valentine's Day, chocolate boxes, every surface you've encountered it on. An anatomical human heart doesn't look like that. It never did. One popular theory traces it to Silphium. The coins of Cyrene show it clearly. The seed. 2 rounded humps at the top. A sharp point at the bottom. The ancient world connected that plant to desire, to intimacy, to love. The shape traveled forward through time. The plant didn't. You have lived inside that symbol your entire life without knowing what it came from. And the instinct that sent a woman into the hills above Cyrene 2,000 years ago, the refusal to leave the future unexamined, that didn't go extinct with the plant. It's the same instinct running in you right now. It always was.